Welcome, crawlers, to the 290th floor. Hi, my name is Charles Ray Dawson. I'm the Associate Broker Residential Sales Manager of ProStar Realty. This is the Unnamed Real Estate Podcast, episode 290, and we're recording on location at Casa del Rey. So, hope you guys are having a good week. So, the reason why we're here today is because I have car issues, which should have been, anyways. So, one of my curses in my life, one of my many curses, is that I notice things, right? And I notice things that other people don't notice. And sometimes it's like, well, no, seriously, there's a thing there. And on Monday, it's funny because this Saturday it came up that I saw a snail shell. So looking at this house and stuff like that, I went, oh, you got snails. And the buyer was like, is it like a special skill that real estate agents develop to notice things? And I wasn't thinking, I go, when you play, D&D 3.5 rules and stuff like that, the spot check skill is actually tied into intelligence. So it's not that I threw anything into spot. It's just my natural intelligence just coming through. I think I sort of insulted him because they don't notice these things. So yeah, I notice things. I notice all sorts of things. I notice tone. I notice voice changes. I notice inflections. I notice furtive looks. I see all right. So what this means is that if I'm driving my car and all of a sudden I notice it's not performing within my projected, parameters of how my car is supposed to respond, I'm going to call it out. All right. It's like, hey, my car is acting a little more sluggish than normal. Hey, I just filled up the tank and I ran it. I have 285 miles on the odometer from the last time I filled it up, and that light's been on to put gas in well before it should come on. And I'm going to go down to the gas station, and if I happen to put 12.6 gallons into a 13-gallon tank at 285 miles, I'm going to start noticing these things, which means when I take it down to the shop, I'm going to expect the mechanic to notice these things. Well, it's Thursday right now. I took my car in on Monday. All right. And I'm just getting it back after I get done with this recording. So, long story short, first go around, oil change, can't find anything wrong with it. I said, did you take it on the freeway like I said? Oh, well, he's really busy and he didn't get a chance to do that. You can leave it overnight. No, I can't. I need the car tomorrow. So, finally got the go around, and he, the good mechanic, the son of the previous mechanic, the guy who knows things about cars, drove it on the freeway. He says, oh yeah, this is da 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 da, brought it back, put it up, did all sorts of tests, and just came back and asked me just one simple question: where do you get your gas at? I'm like, well, getting it over at Fry's using my wife's discount points. And they were like, okay, quit getting gas at Fry's. Because then they told me, and I somehow missed all of this while I'm watching real estate and the world burn, is 2 months ago they switched the fuel blends on everybody. And most people right now would say, yeah, Ray, they always do that, winter, summer fuel blends and stuff. But apparently 2 months ago, when they went to the summer blend, they actually upped the ethanol level from 10 to 15%. Now, what people who understand cars have been screaming since we had this bright idea, this farmer lobbyist payoff, let's put corn syrup in our cars, is that ethanol has a lower octane rating. There's less energy in ethanol, and if you have less energy in your gas, your car has to work harder to suck what energy it possibly can to take that energy through a long, complicated process and apply it to your rear wheels, or in this case, my front wheels, right? But you get the point. So I'm sitting in there going, my car is not acting the way it's supposed to. And like, yeah, actually it is. I wasn't insane. I wasn't just being picky. There was actually a problem going on. right? And okay, it was you guys, wasn't me. So, and then so I text the wife that, and she's like, "Oh, well, da 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 da. Are you sure?" I'm like, "Yeah, that makes all the sense in the world." She goes, "Well, why is my car not doing it?" And I was like, "I drove your car last night. I wasn't going to tell you, but I think your car was acting up too." All right. But she doesn't notice these. I could get in a car, I can drive it a block and a half and go, the right front tire is low. Right? Especially if it's a car that I drive a lot. All right. And sure enough, I'll get out there, look at the wife's right front tire, put the gauge on it, and she's been running a tire that should be at 33 pounds, okay, at 20. So, because I notice things, right? And I know, makes you a little paranoid when you're the one seeing things and hearing things and nobody else is. You really start going, okay, maybe is my SSRIs need to be adjusted or what? Not that I would take those things. Those things make you crazy. So, anyways, that's the rant aside. The other big highlight of my life right now is I'm rereading Dungeon Crawler Carl. So that's the intro. And if you don't know who DCC is, just live your life in darkness, right? Because there is entertainment out there. There's good entertainment out there, right? And you need to go find it. For the love of God, don't watch commercials or anything like that, because it's just them trying to promote the direct that they have out there, right? When listen to word of mouth, the best musicians I've heard of in the last decade, none of it's come across the radio, right? It's from other people who like music. Hey, you should check this person out. Next, you're listening to Ren. You'll never hear Ren on FM radio. Why? Because it doesn't fit in that little category that FM radio decides cubicle monkeys need to listen to. So, rant aside, what else is going on? Real estate sucks. Not really. It's the same thing as it always is. Let's go with the numbers. These are numbers for August 26th, 2026. All right, actives this week are 23,557. That is up 85 from the previous week. Our new listings are 1,981, down 41. Contracts this week were 22,011, down 44. Closings are 1,318. Coming soon to an MLS near you is 634 new listings. Cromford report numbers are supply is actually down to 97.6, so we're actually a little bit reduced. Remember, we were over the 100 there for a time. And then our demand has also dropped a little bit to 78.4, giving us a Cromford report number of 80.3. So that's all fine and dandy and stuff like that. But what does this mean to you, to the consumer? It's summertime. Most people aren't really doing their thing down here in the Phoenix area. Let's see. Last week we had that article I think I discussed about how AI is directing consumers to the wrong real estate agents because real estate agents are learning how to game AI. All right. And honestly, if you're going to outsource your thinking to an LLM, you sort of deserve what you get. It's like buying things on Amazon based on the Amazon star rating. And then you click there and you start actually reading the reviews and they realize that those are reviews for a completely different product. Right? That's actually a thing they do. Right? I don't know if you're aware of that. So, but the other big thing I want to announce and whatnot is that I have started using tools, some AI-ish tools, to listen to my podcast and convert it over to a blog post, which is now over on my webpage. Right? It's relatively fast and easy. I do have to edit it out. It's like this particular episode right now, I can't think of anything I'm going to want to carry over to a blog post because it's mostly just me a rambling thing. But like sometimes it's if you follow, centralphoenix.com or centralphoenixhome.com, if you go to that website, link in the show notes below, you'll start being able to read the important parts of these rambling, 30-40 minute babble fests that I do call this podcast. Hopefully, there's marketing ideas behind that. Okay, a whole bunch of pointing, getting Google to point at me and not at other people, this, that, and the other thing. Other issue we got going on in real estate right now, as I was just talking to Steve about this yesterday, is the sellers are being really, really weird. He was talking about a listing in his neighborhood close to where he lives, and he gets he talks to the lady, she lists with another agent. She lists it high. Okay, like we're talking 20, 30,000 over what he figures he can reasonably get out of that neighborhood. And strangely enough, the house is his floor plan, so he's really intimately familiar with that floor plan. And she lists it high, and then 90 days later, the listing cancels. So he goes over there and leaves a note, if you want to talk about what your house didn't sell. And then it lists a week later with another agent for way under what he feels like it could be. And so we were discussing, like, what's that methodology of overpricing, not getting anything within 100, 120, 100, 90 days or so, not even doing a price drop, and then instantly getting rid of your real estate agent, bringing a new one in for a much, much lower price. So, and that seems to be like a pattern we're seeing, is like, house hits the market, yeah, that's a little high, cancels, comes back with another agent for a much, much lower price. It's like, what's going on in there? And if you know anybody who's experiencing this kind of stuff, I would love to just talk to them aside. I don't necessarily want the listing. I just want to know what the methodology is going on there. I got another call last week from a friend of mine who's got a girl who is a friend, and she had her place listed out in Goodyear. Right, 180 days on the market, and they're off the market for 45 days now, so they could put it back on. And he already asked me, hey, what's going on with that? And I looked at him, and she's too high. Okay, and it's freaking Goodyear. She's got to be perfect because, as you guys know, okay, Goodyear, Maricopa, these places are not where you want to be selling houses right now. So there seems to be that weird little disconnect, crazy right now, is that the sellers are, I don't know if they're just being misdirected by their bad agents or if they have unreasonable expectations. And then on the flip side, the buyers are being very, very picky because there's more houses out there and they can be picky. God bless them. So watch the space. We're going to continue on. This will probably continue on the rest of the summer. As more information comes in, I will spit more information out. So, you know what? I'm going to wrap this one up. Like I said, I'm recording from home today. I'm really impressed that the cat has not climbed up in my lap and started, interjecting. So you guys know we got a new little house monster over here, and she is quite happily asleep in her bed. So just let her do her thing. And from the top, watch children and pets around water. Don't drive in anything flooded. All right, work your circles every day. Have a great weekend. I'll talk to you guys all later.